8 days ago we were dropped deep into the Amazon jungle by helicopter. Since then we've located and officially mapped the previously uncharted source of the Copenhagen River and set a Guinness World Record as the fastest team to summit Juliana Top, a peak so remote that more people have been to space than have stood at its summit. But it wasn't over yet. We made our way back down through steep, dense jungle terrain, navigating in the dark. And now our next challenge begins, to kayak from the very source we just mapped all the way to the Atlantic Ocean. Do we have what it takes to survive the Amazon jungle?
How are you feeling this morning, Matt?
Well rested, but a little bit dizzy. I think I got pretty dehydrated last night because we were rationing the water so much. So I just took an electrolyte. I'm gonna get that down, sit a little bit, eat some food, and then just take it easy today. And then hopefully we can be mostly downhill back to our original camp. That's what I hope anyway.
Yeah, yesterday was something else. Started off early. We had to join the original trail from Martin, a friend of ours, which we sort of expected to be a proper trail. As soon as we're on it, we can move on. And that was definitely not the case. There was luckily one part that was also used by the animals, so there was a proper trail that we could do, at least a bit. And then when you're almost at the peak, you have this feeling, okay, we're almost there, right? So it's just the last bit. There comes this massive amount of elephant grass, which is like so dense, and to be able to get through is horrible. And Matthew did this very fast hacking through everything with the last bit of energy that we had. You get up the mountain, you think, okay, I'm done, but I still need to go down. And by that time, we already done like 10K, did already 9 hours of walking.
After a tough late night making our way down to camp with barely any food or water, everyone was feeling the weight of it. Energy was low, but we were back on the move, pushing through the dense jungle, heading towards the kayaks we stashed just a few days ago. But the lasting effects of the summit were starting to catch up to me. I am in so much pain. My feet, oh my god. It just feels like they're in fire. Feels like I've got a million needles in my socks, and every time I step on them, there's just this fire pain. It gets beyond blisters and toenails falling off. It's now on to utter chafing, so it's kind of like it's sanding down a layer or two of my skin. It was such a big day yesterday, and we didn't get to bed till about 1 o'clock in the morning. We only had a couple of litres of water and maybe 800 calories of food. So today we're looking at the same again. To top it off, I had a tick in a place on the front end where you do not want to find a tick, if you know what I mean. Just feeling absolutely battered. I almost forgot what this pain feels like, to be honest. In ever-growing pain, I tried to keep a brave face for the sake of team morale, but I was hurting. Physically, I was solid, but my feet were in pieces. One bad footwear choice and I was paying for it every step of the way. We pushed on for several more hours, heads down, focused on getting to camp. And just as we arrived, we were greeted by our first storm since entering the Amazon. So as we were hiking then, all day in fact, the clouds have been brewing all day. A thunderstorm has been coming, and we were going to push on to the camp where we saw the jaguar poo, only about 1 kilometre away, but then these clouds really came in fast, and just in time we managed to get the hammocks up and the top. So it's really cool. It's pouring down hard, and it's been quite a while now, but it's so nice to just be sat under the hammock behind me, under this top, and just to be enjoying it, So each morning now for practically the past 3-4 mornings, I've had this full-blown routine where my feet have to be fully covered up, plastered and taped because they've been rubbed raw. They're so painful. So I'm having to try to cover them up individually. This is just leaking sap. This is seeping flesh. It's painful. I've almost forgot what this pain feels like. It's been 5 years since Mission Yangtze. And I remember I faced similar. Eventually, they just get used to it again. So when you wake up in the morning, the first thing isn't like, oh yeah, it's going to be a lovely day. The first thing is like, oh, it's going to be such a painful day. The joy is I have 2 plasters left. So do you have any plasters, matey? We aim to get to the kayaks today, and if we get to the kayaks we can switch the boots for the hush puppies, which are more kind of like Crocs, and we'll be on the river going downstream, and then we believe it would take us 2 full days to get downstream to the point of where we were dropped off by the helicopter. Now when we get to that point, we know there's a sunny embankment, there's a place where we've got signal so we can update family and friends, because we'll be off the radar now for a good while. So we're making our way back to base camp now, where we left the kayaks. I think when we ditched the kayaks there at the beginning, I'm just breaking webs with my f***ing face. I don't think any of us anticipated the f***ing adventure it would have been. The crazy stories that we've got, the pain endured, very frustrating times, just in absolute agony. So we've just had a red-throated caracara going off, and the lads were saying that they only start screaming if they see something they don't like, and we're too far away from it, so they've seen something else. So the lads also said maybe they have seen a jaguar, and potentially a jaguar's following our trail now. Don't really know what to say to that. We spent this whole morning not getting our feet wet, and we don't want to do it now, right before the climb. And so we found this tree that's acting as a bridge whilst hacking with a machete to make our way across, because it's covered in branches and debris. So just behind me is the waterfall that all stopped us in our tracks when we were trying to kayak up. Since then it's been a mission finding the source of the Coppenham River and summiting Julian atop the highest peak in Suriname. But after the last week or just over, we're finally back to the waterfall, and it's so good to be back here. We'd finally made it back to our kayaks and gear, and as a team the feeling was pure relief. For now the jungle was behind us, but we weren't exactly left unscathed.
The 8-9 days hiking really took a toll on me. I've lost a lot of weight, my feet are all f***ed up, but super excited to be back in the river and heading in the right direction towards the sea.
Feeling pretty alright. I must say I had more energy whilst walking. Today was good. Now we need to find a camping spot. So I'm wondering if we're gonna go for easy, right downstream, place where we've already been, or we're gonna cover a little more ground so we can be at the helipad a little earlier tomorrow, because we are short on food, we are hungry, and we gotta catch some fish tonight.
Refueled on biltong and lifted by the excitement of being back on the river, this time heading downstream, we packed up and began paddling, aiming to cover as much distance as possible. But just as things seemed to be falling into rhythm, we were thrown a sudden and scary curveball. My GoPro slipped into the rapids, and it wasn't just the camera, it held all my footage from the past week.
He's back from the dead! That was a nightmare. We almost lost it. We did lose it. This GoPro's been sat at the bottom of the river under those rapids for the best part of 10 minutes. So we're all on our hands and knees feeling around. I was following the rapids back upwards, running my hands through all the cracks and creeks. I thought I was either going to find an electric eel or this GoPro. Thankfully it was a GoPro.
Thrilled to have beaten the odds, we were back on the move, continuing downstream with a renewed sense of energy, and for the first time in days, we were starting to have some fun.
You hit the rock!
Yeah.
The current was in our favour, the scenery was stunning, and for a moment, the intensity gave way to pure enjoyment. We made good distance, and morale was high once again as we pulled into our camp spot for the night. Today it started very painful. I've not been wanting to show much to the lads because I don't want to sound like a little wimp, but I have a high pain threshold, and I can tell you it was right up there, like really, really painful. I feel good right now, I feel energized. It's great that I was able to just wash then. I just had a wash, had a bath. I've got my hammock right here. Dick's managed to catch a fish within 5 minutes. We were gonna be eating peanuts and beef jerky. Oh, and I'm really excited to get back to the point, hopefully tomorrow, where the helicopter dropped us off, because that means we're gonna take a day to wash everything, dry everything, charge everything. So mentally, I'm really high, and physically, my feet are feeling so much better. It makes a world of difference not being in pain. I know that there's still a mess down there, but better days are ahead. So yeah, high spirits tonight. So we literally just finished eating, and we can see this caiman sticking his head up, watching us eat, wanting some of our wolf fish right in between our kayaks. Literally, what, 1-2 meters away. He's still down there now.